What up, everybody? It's 313 J-Mo here with another video to talk about these Lions, man. And okay, OTA's coming around in a couple weeks, I think. The off-season voluntary training program started. Obviously, it's voluntary. You know, some players are gonna come up to Ford Field to work, and one of those players was Graham Glasgow. Now, they did interviews with Glasgow, Jared Davis, and Devon Kennard, as far as I know. If more interviews were done, I'll be sure to say what I thought about what they said. And main thing I got from this is Glasgow's a little cocky, a little confident. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing, but you could feel his presence. You could feel like he's like, I'm ready, I'm doing this. You could feel his confidence in himself as a center. And it was a part they asked about TJ Lang, and he used to say TJ, you know, with all his experience, he had a Rolodex of memories of plays and downs and situations. He was like, you know, I'm not TJ, but you know, I got my little Rolodex after having, you know, having a few years as a player for the Lions and as a center. And you know, last year was his first real year as a center, and although me and others feel that Frank Ragnow should be the starting center, maybe, I don't know, maybe we're wrong. I mean, obviously we know Ragnow's a better offensive lineman, but maybe a year of continuity with this offensive line, and you know, he's the leader now because he's the center. You know, him and Taylor Decker came in at the same time. He's basically the oldest guy on there besides Rick Wagner, and Rick Wagner is not the leader type. He's the lead by example type. And I like what I felt from him. I liked a lot of his answers. You know, nothing too deep because, you know, he's an offensive lineman. They didn't ask him, you know, any of those crazy, intricate questions. Moving on. Gerard Davis. I think he will have a breakout season this year. My number one player for breakout season is Tracy Walker, but because I automatically say Kerryon's gonna be great. Galladay, Stafford, all of them gonna be great, but I think Walker is gonna be something. And I think Jared Davis is going to have a very, very huge uptick. And this is what I love about Jared Davis, man. He's been a leader since day one. The questions they ask him, the way that he answers, what he focuses on. He was talking about how he hate, you know, having to go home and watch the playoffs. But then according to the media, some players were texting Matt Patricia during the playoffs, asking him about situational football situations. Basically, long story short, the Pats were doing this to the Rams. Coach Patricia, ain't that what we were doing? What did we do wrong? How can we be better? That type of thing. And this is what I love about Jared Davis, man. He's such a leader. He's so smart. He's so focused on getting better and knowing about himself. And he said, and I definitely agree with this, now they're in the second year of this defense. So they're going to be, I feel like a lot of the players are going to be so much better in the second year of the defense. They learn more, and I love the Gerard's curiosity and the way that he's been trying to improve. He's been trying to establish some continuity even with his teammates that he's meeting in the offseason workouts today. And they asked him an array of questions like how many sacks would he like to get. He said 5 or 6 would be fine, but he's not necessarily searching for that because he's not always blitzing. You know, he's in coverage a lot, and he did like for the opportunity that they gave him. And I think he did well with the opportunity that they gave him. You know, just, you know, a little sprinkle here and a little fluff there because the media can't ask the nitty and gritty questions. But, you know, a good interview from Gerard Davis. I'm just going to start calling him Gerard Davis, the leader. Now, Devon Kennard. He's the only Lions player I've heard of in the offseason because he was on that little interview with Torrey Petrie. And one thing about Kennard that I do want to say is he seems very happy. And now after watching, I was thinking that while I was watching the interview. Now after watching the end of the interview, I know why. But he seems very happy, very content, very confident, very ready and prepared. You know, he came early for the offseason programs, and they were asking him an array of questions. Like, basically, the defense was great last year. So they asked Gerard Davis the same thing. So they asked him, what do you think you can build on off of last year? And all Kennard kept trying to hammer home is every year is a new year. Ain't nothing the same. Every year is a new year, a new animal, a new beast. So I don't care what I was doing back then. last year. I'm trying to build on what we got now, but he definitely agreed with Gerard Davis when it came to the defense. And now that they know more things and they'll be more prepared, and they watch the Patriots a lot. They asked him about Trey Flowers. So he knew about Trey Flowers already because he was watching Patriots film. And of course, they loved the addition. Gerard Davis also mentioned that he loved what we were doing in free agency. And this is why he loved what we were doing in free agency, y'all. He loved it because of the competition. He knew it was going to increase the competition in the locker room and to make that 53-man roster even tougher. Man, I love the way Gerard Davis just thinks about this game. Back to Kennard. I didn't know this, but Kennard was a 5th-round draft pick, so that's why I can see why he's so excited now and in a good mood and ready for the season, because he was a 5th-round draft pick that's doing more than exceed his expectations. Kennard is a very smart player. As he said in his interview, he was so smart that he came in as a rookie and studied the playbook. Even as a 5th-round draft pick, he was playing in his rookie season because he studied that playbook. He's very intelligent. And there's one more thing for the people who want to, rag on Kennard or criticize him for some of his issues in coverage. We know he's not the best cover corner, but the thing that I didn't know is Kennard was playing 90% of the snaps. And considering we don't have no depth on this team, that's very significant. And I know we're going to get depth at the linebacker position. So my point is now Kennard, along with that addition of Trey Flowers, because, he can play anywhere. Now that we got him, it will be so much easier for the players to play together, because once you add the talent around your squad, the whole team gets better. And I would love to see what happens if Kennard is playing only 70% of the snaps. Like, you telling me he's playing 90% of the snaps doing that? Now, I don't know if that was in totality, but that's what the reporter said. And I can't remember one. I can't remember. It's one of the guys from M Live, and maybe that's what happened. I didn't know that. And I just like that, players came in early. I heard Gerard Davis and Trey Flowers was doing some workouts together. And, this is just the beginning. Football, you starting to get the sense back. It's players in the stadium now. You're starting to get that sense. Now, last thing I'm going to say, and I have a question for all of you, and I'll even put the question up here. What do you think is the number one thing that will happen for the Lions this season? Good or bad? I don't want to say good or bad because I'm trying to keep it all positive here. But if you're not a believer in the team and nothing, the DVE or ESA or any of the alliances and the unity and the community that we built, positivity and unbiased media, if you don't agree with any of that, you still think we're going to be the same on Lions, okay. What are you 100% sure is going to happen? And if you're one of them pessimistic people, please say something that actually makes sense. Now we just going to be trash or something like that. Come on, man. Think a little bit. Think a little bit. And what are you sure that we will do this season? Like, what are you like, I know this is going to happen this year. I'm going to tell you something that I know is going to happen this year. The Lions will 150,000% be a top 10 defense this year. I just believe that I believe in Matt Patricia's system. I know if once he gets the players for his system, everything will work out well. And I know we will have a top 10 defense this year. So I want to know what you think. What are you 100% confident in what the Lions are going to do this year? I'm very curious to see some of you guys' answers. I hope it's all positive. I hope so. Well, OTAs in a couple weeks along with the draft coming up, man. It's about to be something special. All right, man, it's 313 J Mo. I'm out of here.